Hey there, folks. This is Rocky Red Panda, and here for PND Studios. It's that time again, folks. It's Tuesday, time for another read. And we are picking up with Edgar Allan Poe from a book called Great Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. We're going to be reading one of his most famous and well-known poems called The Raven. Come join me, shall you? This is called The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of some one gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this, and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember rots its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished to the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here for evermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filling me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," I said, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more." Deep inside that darkness, peering long, I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber, turning, all my souls within me burning. Soon again I bear a tapping, something louder than before. "Surely," I said, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what their reach is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery implore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here, I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, is there stepped a stately raven of the stately days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with the mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, begearing my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern dictorum of the countenance it wore, though my crest be shown and shaven, "Thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim, an ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled, this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answers little meaning, little reverency bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing the bird above his chamber door. A bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven sitting lonely on that placid bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other than friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me as my hopes have been before, flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, I said, what it utters, its only stock in store, caught from some unhappy master whom mercenary disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dringes of his hopes that melancholy burden bore of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in from front of the bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This is, I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat dividing, with my head at ease, reciting on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamp light goaded o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight goading o'er, she shall press, ah, nevermore. Then men thought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the truffled floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent me respite, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forgot these lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempered sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore. Desolate, yet all undaunted on the desert land, enchanted on this home thy horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by the heaven that bends above us, by the God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden if, within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Be that word of signs of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest of the night's plutonium shore. Leave no black plum as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave thy loneliness unbroken, quite the bust above thy door. take thy break from out my heart, and take thy form from off thy door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never fitting, still is sitting on a placid bust of Pallas above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seemings of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamp light o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. And that was The Raven by Edgar Allen Poe. I love Edgar Allan Poe. He is one of my favorite poets and authors. It's been fun reading you this week, especially reading you some of Edgar Allan Poe. Till next week, you guys, I will catch you on the flip side. Keep on reading, folks. Peace out. If you like this video and other videos from PND Studios, including my reads, make sure you like and subscribe. And also check me out on All Fur Media. That's right, All Fur Media.